Chandler Barber back at it again. Today I'm going to be doing a high fade with little off the top. He said his wife does not want too much off the top, so mainly going to be focusing on the fade today. If you've seen any of my previous videos doing fades, it'll be similar steps, but this will be a bit higher. High ball fade, high fade, whatever you want to call it. I will be balding him out with the foil shavers. But first, we want to just comb the hair through, make sure it's going in the direction that it wants to go, and seeing what it's doing. And then we're going to get started by debulking. I'm using a number 2 guard closed. Going to be going through just debulking so I can see what I'm working with beneath. So I'll go around his head and debulk, and then once I've done that, we'll get into creating our bald guideline with the trimmers. And with this debulking, I'm just going straight off where the parietal ridge is. Alright, now we're going to get into the bald guideline. Going to be setting it in a little bit above the eyebrow and arching it back just a tad. I'm going to follow that around. Going to mimic the same thing on the other side and connect that to the back. Once I've done that, we will clear all that hair beneath. Then taking my foil shavers, I'm going to bald out under that, making it nice and smooth. Being careful as I come up to that guideline not to push in too much, just to make a smoother transition. As I get to that guideline, I kind of lift the shaver a little bit. Now we're going to get into creating our clipper, no guard, open guideline coming up from the ball guideline, making it about a finger's width. Half an inch to an inch is what most people kind of deal with when they're doing their guidelines. You can use your discretion as far as how high you want to take it or how much you want it to be spread. But after that, I'm closing the clipper halfway and going up into that guideline we just created, going up about halfway into that. Then I'll close the clipper completely and knock out that line at the bottom. Depending on the person's hair, you might want to use the corners some. As you can see me doing there, just to get some of the spots that are a little harder to grab, that are a little bit more darker. But once we've done that and we've cleared that out, I'm doing the same thing on the other side. And then once that's done, we'll go into creating our other guideline, which is the number 1 guard open. Using the corners of your clippers is a great technique, especially just to lighten up some darker areas, even if it's a little higher than where you're trying to take out. Using the corners helps you to be a little bit more careful, but also kind of pinpoint some of the darker areas. Okay, so we've got the number 1 guard on our clipper, and we have it open, and we're going up about a finger width there above what we just did. Once we have done that, we will close the number 1 guard completely on the clipper and just kind of go into that to lighten up that line that it's leaving. And we're still going to have to go in with our half guard, but we'll do that toward the end. Just going to lighten this up and then get into our 1.5 guard. So I have the 1.5 guard open, going above what we just did, trying to lighten that up, not really digging in too much, but just lightening it up a little bit. After we do the 1.5 guard, I'm going to work on some of that kind of bulk at the top. When we debulked earlier with the 2 guard, it still, obviously left a weight line, and so we're going to work on that with the number 3 guard. But after I've gone in with the 1.5 open, I'm now going to close it and go right under where we just went to lighten that up a little bit more. Gonna still probably have to detail that a little bit with the 1 guard for just some of those darker areas that you see. Alright, so now I have the 3 guard. Like I said, we're just gonna go up into that weight area, smoothing that out a little bit. Then I started with that open, I closed it, and then I'm gonna take the 2 guard and have it open and then go down. So just kind of working our way down, just smoothing that out, getting rid of some weight line there. Now I have the 2 closed, so I started with the open, just kind of working my way down. Now we're going to take the half guard and mainly using the corners on this, trying to get rid of that line that was created when I was doing my 1 guard guideline. So I'm playing with the lever, opening it up more if I'm going up a little bit more, and closing it as I get closer to that line. You'll see there's still some weight at the top in different areas. We're going to hit that with the blending shears to really smooth that out more, and also do some shear over comb, and you'll see that in a second. But yeah, kind of detailing now with the half guard, opening and closing it as I see fit, and like I said, using that technique where I'm mainly using the corners so I don't dig in too much and create any more lines. A lot of fading is just using your eyes and kind of seeing what needs to be taken out. Alright, so I have the blending shears where some of that weight still remained. I'm going to hit that a little bit using the comb and pushing the hair up and just hitting some of those ends. You can see that it really softens that a little bit more. Doing some point cutting here. This is a great technique as well for some of those darker areas. And you know, on some clients' hair it's not necessary, but if they have certain hair texture that ends up showing more darker spots here and there, it definitely helps. Here's a little scissors over comb. You can see that that's really helping that blend out a little bit more up at the top. Now for the top, like I said, we're not going to be taking off that much, just taking off a little bit because his wife wanted him to keep a lot more of the hair on top. So I'm just using a traveling guide, created my initial guide at the front of the fringe and just working my way back in sections, going down the middle first, then going down the left side of his head, then I'll do the right side. And then for a little bit of the overhang hanging over that's not connecting into the sides, I'm going to hit that right there. Connecting this side as well. If anything is hanging over, it's not connecting from the side to the top. And then once I've double checked that, I'm going to use the trimmers just to kind of detail. There was a couple of little darker spots on the bald guideline area. So I'm going to use my corners with the trimmers so it'll get a little tighter. Then I'll put some product in his hair using a matte paste. I'm going to blow dry. There's not a tremendous amount of styling with his hair, but still want to make each client feel good and look good. So make sure all the hair's off of him. And I didn't film it, but I do always do a straight razor on the neck hair, and that's it right there. That's the cut. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and please subscribe for more content, and thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you next time.